Welcome everyone to the Freljord Semifinals preview here. Coming up, our first match is going to be happening between Dream Daddies as the number 2 seed and Shitstorm as the number 3 seed. It's going to be pretty hype. I'm excited to get in the semifinals, and let's just break it down real quick. I actually got two people tonight, so I got Cheese Blaze and ZZ Dog. How you doing tonight, guys?
Great.
Yep.
So, real quick, same. We're gonna do same kind of format because this is the first time we've got to talk to anyone from your team. But what's it like been playing on Dream Daddies here this past season?
Ooh, we definitely like to have fun, but we also like winning. We kind
Yeah,
of try to mix those together, and sometimes they interfere with each other. But
I mean, it's like nothing too different, right? Because we've had what's basically the same roster ever since season zero. We've like swapped one player out on a and otherwise it's the same four. It's like our support, mid, top, and I guess bot lane now are all the same people. It's just jungle that kind of just swaps around. So it's nothing too new.
So, you guys have been known to pull out some of the spiciness and some of the most ridiculous matches that I've seen here in Seal. What do you think your guys' most notable team comp from any of those cheesy matches has been?
ooh,
I think the spiciest one has to be when we did double jungle for a season, right?
yes, we did double jungle for a season. That was what was that? Two
That
seasons ago?
yeah, I think that was season
Yeah,
two.
that was pretty spicy. We did that for I think 6 or 8 games. It
Yeah,
was
that
somewhat successful actually.
I think we had like a 50% win rate with it. We still got
Right about.
second that season, but that was after we stopped doing double jungle, so I don't know if that really counts.
Yeah, so this is the type of stuff that could be happening in the semifinals match. Real quick, tell me what happened in your first match against Shitstorm. Looks like you actually 2-0'd them in the last week of the regular season, which then sets you up to win all the tiebreakers to get the second seed.
Yes. I would say what happened is our team's been playing the game a lot more. At the start of the season, we had 2 or 3 guys that were not playing a lot of League, and recently we've all been playing more, and we've gotten better at the game and better at playing with each other. And I got to play Urgot, so that felt good.
Yeah, they for some reason didn't ban Urgot either game when usually it's like 100% pick ban into us. So they just left it up both games and picked the same thing into it both games, and it kind of just won the game both games. It was weird. The first game was really weird too because basically it was just me and Alex Cheeseblaze running it down the entire game to take towers because I was playing Lucian mid and he was playing Urgot. And we both died like 4 times in lane, didn't kill anyone, but took like 3 towers. So we just won off split pushing.
Yeah, well, if for the people who haven't paid attention, Cheese Blaze did get first team All Star voting in the top lane, and the only representative on the first or second team for Dream Daddies. So, pretty impressive play from yourself there.
And I find that I don't know. I'm happy, but I am surprised.
And
I'm also surprised Easy Dog did not make it for you're Zach. Your problem might be that you switch roles too much.
I mean, I guess I played jungle like 3 games, so that might be it. But like, I get to rep the sixth placed All Pro team, so
I think I think
I'm the
Easy Dog's a
sixth
pretty
best
spicy
mid
mid
laner.
laner.
I
yes,
get to be sixth. It's fine.
it's
It's fine. Dog in flaming house.
hey, don't worry about it. Some people that as when some people asked me about how I voted for All Stars, if you didn't play a minimum of 50% of your team's games on that role, I just couldn't vote for you in that role, right?
That's
Like,
respectable.
no, you got to meet a minimum requirement of games played for me. So, um, focus a little bit on the rest of this match here from Shitstorm. How did you guys think their round one match went, and what are they taking from round one to try and bring it up against you guys?
I mean, I
Ooh.
watched it live. It was interesting. It felt like they just wanted to keep Monkey down from Prophecy, and if they did that, they'd just win because Monkey is like Prophecy's big, like superstar player. And I mean, I guess that worked for them. Maybe they'll try something similar and then just camp top lane into us. But I feel like we're a more well-rounded team than Prophecy was, so I don't feel like a strategy like that really works into us.
My thought from what they would do or could do is try to keep a key player down is what they did well and what they could try to do to us.
Is there anyone on their team that you're expecting to, you know, try to either be a standout or you guys are the most worried about?
Um, we expect to see a Shen top, and we know their ADC plays pretty much every ADC there is. So there's a lot of variation in their team, so we don't actually have a lot to predict from them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it's like not many games have been streamed, so we haven't actually gotten to see much from them other than like the last week and obviously the 2 games they played into us. And what they didn't work into us, and what they did felt like it only worked into they were playing against because that team wasn't as well rounded. So like, it's not so much we're trying to BM them with the whole Shen top thing, but their top has played like 75% of his
Seven
games on Shen.
seven of his
So
11 games are Shen. It's a lot of Shen.
yeah, it's like
I
it's hard to extrapolate other than from like what we can see on like the spreadsheets, and that's just like all we really know about them.
I mean, yeah, but they went 9-5, so I mean they're winning on Shen. So if it ain't,
Yes. Well, yeah, Shen is a very good champion. I agree. I do love myself a Shen.
Just maybe don't pick it into Urgot next time twice.
probably not. Okay, so other than you probably are gonna keep your nice spicy cheese for the actual match, and I'm excited to see what can come out here. What do you guys think of the other quarterfinals match between this team and Chicken Riders?
I think Chicken Riders is definitely should be the top or second team in this division, and I think that we will more than likely, if we win, I expect them to win, and I think that is my predicted finals match. I think they're a very well-rounded team.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. I think Chicken Riders is pretty heavily favored, but this team like looks better now than they did at the start of the season. I
This is
think so.
also
Like,
true.
and I think they split 1-1 with Chicken Riders, so like maybe they can upset. I don't think it's like completely set in stone that Chicken Riders will win, but I do think they're like a heavy favorite.
Okay, so that's good to hear from you guys. What other, like, as we kind of wrap this thing up here, what other shout outs or, call outs you want to have before we jump on over to the other team?
Can I ask for no 100% Fiora ban against us, please?
Have
She
you
has been
gotten?
banned.
Wait,
No, she has been banned in every single game we have
yeah, that's
played.
what I thought. I was gonna say I don't think you've gotten in a single game. It's so sad.
I only have 500 games on her this season. It's okay.
Wait.
501 incoming.
How do you have? I thought that everyone's banning. Are people double banning the top lane, Urgot and
Yes.
Fiora?
Yes,
Yes,
that's how
Urgot
our team works.
Fiora.
They ban me, and everybody else gets to play what they want.
Yeah, and then we just like, and then somehow like you're still the all-pro player despite getting banned out every game, but then like the people who don't get banned out still don't get voted. It's like we're just garbage, I guess. It's so sad.
Hey, it works. It works. I'm not complaining.
See, unfortunately, Nikomite isn't our mid lane anymore, so we don't have Urgot, Fiora, Zillion as
Oh,
the 3 bans
you
every
want the
game.
spice? The APC bot lane. That's
Oh
the
yeah,
spice that we give
I
you.
guess that is the spice this season. Our ADC has not played a single ADC the entire season.
Wait, what? What do you mean he hasn't played in ADC this season?
He has only played mages.
Okay, well, that's
It's
good.
not exactly a hidden spice, but that is the spice that we're doing this
That is
season.
the spice. Be prepared. You will see it.
So apparently, you make sure you take your MR runes down in the bot lane Shitstorm. That's what I've learned from this. Luckily, I don't have to go up against any of that stuff. I'm busy in the Noxus division trying to hold my own against, well, whatever is going on in the Noxus division. So, thanks guys for joining me this evening, and good luck in the semifinals.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
And we are back with the other team here in the semifinals, Shitstorm, after a nice, impressive 2-0 win over Prophecy in the quarterfinals, or round one, however you want to look at it. We have Holo the Wise here. How you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I am doing well. So we're going to change the questions up a little bit since we've already talked with your team going into the first rounds of playoffs. What has been your team's best overall play this season? So, like, either a team fight or some miraculous outplay by someone on your team, or a level 1 Bush face check. Like, what's something that stands out?
We've played a lot of games this season, and right now, off the top of my head, there's not really much that like something like a 5-man Oriana Shockwave. Nothing necessarily like that at the current moment that comes to mind. But I think a lot of our team has been fairly consistent in our games, and we have. I think a lot of it boils down to the small plays, especially just helping out each other in team fights, making sure that we get enough peel. So, as I said, nothing that really comes out to my current moment, but there was in our first game of our quarterfinals, I was playing tank set mid for our team, and I wouldn't say that necessarily this was a good play, but I was able to try to go into a flank and all 5 of them. I took a lot of damage and I soaked up a lot of their CC. I was able to get out with the help of my support, and he was about to get picked off though by I believe it was the Zoe Q from max range, and I was able to block it so he didn't die. But other than that, like as I said, it's just a bunch of the small things.
Well, that's. I'm glad that a steady dose of improving plays and getting better is a nice way to go if nothing stands out from that end. So your opponents, Dream Daddies, have been known for their cheese, and I'm not just talking about their top laner, Cheese Blaze. If your team were to run a cheesiest comp, we're talking like Velveeta and Shells here, for fun or to win, what would your team pull out? What team comp? All Yordles, 5-man tower diving top laner at level 1. Like, what's your team doing?
I think a Freljord comp would be pretty fun. I think we all, in some aspect, we can play a Freljordian comp, like having like a volley bearer in the jungle. We could have Braum Ash support, Tryndamere top. I could play like Anivia or such in the mid lane. So something to that effect.
Okay, that's
one of my
pretty decent comp.
Are we saying that we're going to do that? Probably not.
No. I don't expect that at all. I don't expect that at all. But you never know, right? Like, sometimes you just guys want to just have a fun match, go right ahead and pull out the cheese. So, real quick, we heard from the other guys about what happened in the 2-0 that they gave you towards the end of the season there.
Yeah, so don't exactly remember like what happened. I think
didn't ban Urgot and he ran around destroying all your towers.
Urgot, I think that was a big adaptation that we kind of failed to pick up on the second game. He absolutely destroyed us. So I don't believe that pick is going to be going through picks and bans tomorrow. However, I think relatively though, especially early into the mid game, we kept it pretty close. I think in one of the games we actually had a sizable lead in the early game, but they were able to out macro us, and just in general with that. Going into this game, I think that we have a pretty solid game plan on what we want to do and where we want to focus around.
Okay. I'm glad did you learn anything from that first round matchup that just now that it's in the playoffs and best of 3 going on that you weren't considering before?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I think you were cutting out. What was the
Oh,
question again?
did you learn anything from, now that we're in best of threes in the first round matchup, did you anything specific that you want to take into this next one?
Um. So I think just like going in, looking first, just learning from our previous matches, taking away like the power pit, like a lot of their comfortable champions, especially something like the Urgot where we just got completely steamrolled, uh, is a good idea. And just I think also just adapting to our like I we've grown a lot as a team, especially towards the end of the season, and also in our practices. Uh, we've worked a lot on our communication. I think honestly, our team play, I think we'll be able to play our style, and also I think we'll pull out ahead.
So, final question here. It's not all about Shitstorm and the Dream Daddies. We got another semifinals match coming up as well. So, who's going to take it out of Chicken Riders and this team?
Um, I liked the as much as I would like to go for the underdog in this one, but with this team pulling off the nice 2-0 this last round of playoffs, I still think that uh, Chicken Riders is a cut above the rest competition right here. Uh, I think it's going to be a clear 2-0, honestly. I think that this team can put up a fight for sure and give them a run, maybe take a game off, but I believe that it's going to be a 2-0 for Chicken Riders.
Okay, well, that you heard it from Holo here. He's going to go with the Chicken Riders as well. So, anything else you want to shout outs or anything like that as we wrap it up here?
Um, all I'm gonna say is this: Dream Daddies, you 2-0 us the first time. Well, we're gonna come back and 2-0 you.
Well, I'm definitely excited to watch that tomorrow night, Friday evening. So, thank you very much, and we are going to be going on to the other semifinals.
All right, thank you. Sure.
And welcome back. Now we are going to be getting into the second Freljord Division semifinals between the number 1 seed Chicken Riders and the number 5 seed this team. And we're going to be starting off with this team as they did 2-0 Team 25 in the first round or the quarterfinals, however you want to put it. I got Monte Carlo Method here with me tonight. How you doing?
Hey, I'm not too bad.
I am doing well. I'm glad to get into these semifinals. I'm pumped about these teams and how these matches are going to go. So we've already been introduced to this team in the round 1 series of questions. So you're going to be getting a couple different ones this time around. What was your team's best overall play? As in one individual game or one individual Baron steal or maybe a level 1, strategy that pulled out really well. What was like the one highlight play that your team had this season?
Oof, that's a hard one. Not a hard one because there were many to choose from. A hard one because it's been a long season and I don't remember much anymore. I guess I'm gonna highlight the best individual play actually as the entirety of our quarterfinals. We were on point in quarterfinals and we were doing exactly what it is that we believe our strengths to be, which is playing the macro. So sorry, I can't give you an individual micro. There weren't any flashy Baron steals, there weren't any big pentakills. It's just a whole lot of really, really good solid team fighting.
Okay, that's nice. So, sometimes it's just when you're in that perfect groove, if that's what's happening, then that's the best, man. And hopefully, maybe you can get back into that groove in this semifinals match. So, if your team had to do like either a team comp or a strategy that is, we're talking like Kraft macaroni and dinner cheese. What is your team pulling out? Not necessarily for the win in this semifinals, but like solo queue or flex queue, and you guys are just like, we just want to have a blast. What are you guys playing?
One of the things that we like to do every now and then is to just switch up our AD carry and our mid laner. We did this once or twice this season so far, where our typical AD carry will whip out a set mid. Set is a really big flex pick for our team, as he is, I guess, for a lot of teams, where we'll play him mid, jungle, or top. I'm sorry, yeah, mid, jungle, support, or top. I've not yet played him jungle in a competitive match, but I'll do it in norms every now and then. So we'll pull the set, and then we'll send our AD carry mid with set, and then we'll take our typical mid laner and put him in the bot lane.
Okay.
That's what we want to do if we were going to
Okay.
be crazy.
Not the craziest thing I heard, but not too shabby. So, as I talk about this team, I should probably have your guys' up on my screen here for everyone to see. Real quick, what happened in your guys' match against the Chicken Riders? Let's see here. When did that happen? That happened in week 3 for you guys.
Back in week 4?
Week 3 or 4. I can't remember if you guys had the bye, but it was your 3rd match of the season.
So we had to play that match without our typical mid laner, our starting mid laner, Deke Beast. He was out for some personal reasons, and so we had to get a sub. That sub wound up being a couple of divisions high because the sub pool is slim pickings this season, and so we lost a whole bunch of bans against that team. And then we were playing kind of last minute without our frankly our star player. I think in the quarterfinal reviews or interviews, our top laner, the Nutcase, was on the stand here, and that was his assessment too. Is that Deke Beast is probably the best player on our team. So really kind of hurt us to have to play that match without him. Shout out to Cage Reaper for stepping in for us. We appreciate it, man. That was a kind of a rough couple of games to go through, and it was a last minute sub, but we appreciate you.
Well, it's unfortunate, but sometimes IRL is more important than this silly game. I definitely am part of that boat many a time. So, you guys got a nice 2-0 victory, as stated earlier. What did you guys learn in the the first round of the playoffs there? Because that you had a best of 3 already. Are you taking anything from this best of 3 into the semis?
Yeah, don't let it get there.
Don't let it get to best of 3. Only 2 O's.
Don't give yourselves 3 opportunities
Oh
to lose.
my gosh, that is some nice confidence coming out of yourself, Monty. Love it.
It's optimism. We'll call it optimism.
Okay, so just like I give everyone else here before we wrap it on up, if they want to give any other shout outs, call outs, or anything before we call it a night.
I want to give another shout out to Bob and Rob, who is another one of our subs this season. Bob, his name's not Bob. We call him Bob. Bob and Rob. Bob, he was not part of the Seal community. I picked him up randomly in a solo queue game. Actually, it was a norms game. He and his buddies were playing, and I was their jungler just in a norms game, and we kind of started playing together since then. We introduced him a little bit to Seal, and he got interested, and so we signed him up for e-subs, and we got him into our AD carry spot for one game this season, and it was phenomenal. I also want to give a shout out actually to Lightning 13Z, the jungler for Chicken Riders. He also subbed for us in the top lane though. And I think that's everybody that subbed for us this season. So I just wanted to say thanks to all of you guys for helping us put together a squad of 5 so we can actually play the game, because that's always our goal. Is to
that's very important, and I'm pretty grateful that we have some people in our community who literally just play as e-subs, and occasionally there's I think one person that's played in like almost as many games down in Noxus as if he would have been on a team, because e-subs can be important if you're available a lot more often. So
it's one of my favorite things to do is sub for other teams. I get to learn how other teams play, and I get to see a different cross section of players, and I get to learn what I do well and what I don't do well, and just kind of expand my pool, my knowledge, my understanding. I've gotten a sub in every division except Noxus, I think, this season. If anyone's out there that hasn't got a chance to sub, I encourage you to keep track of that sub needed channel and put your name up there whenever somebody's looking.
Yeah, that's because us people down in Noxus are like in the silver and like low gold range. Mr. over here, high gold player. My team ain't losing bans trying to bring you down to our level.
I think there's a couple of positions that I could probably take down there without
Yeah,
losing
there's a
too
couple
much.
spots. So, okay, I want to thank you for joining me tonight, and we will then jump on over to the Chicken Riders as the #1 seed.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have saved the best for last, or at least that's what the standings say. Chicken Riders 9-3 during the regular season, #1 seed. Players that got the most MVP votes for Aoka. I'm sorry, I probably butchered that. In the support role, mid laner is actually the one that's here with me. Vebe, how is it going tonight?
It's going great. Thanks for talking.
I'm actually excited to talk about your team. You guys have been really excited and promoting not only yourselves but other teams, community, and a couple of your players have volunteered and subbed on other teams. So it's great to see that. I just want to the Monte Carlo method literally just shouted out, your jungler Lightnings for subbing for his team like right before I jumped on with you. So. We just want to say thanks and let's get this going. Okay, what's it like to be a chicken rider?
Oh, what's it like to be a chicken rider? Fun, I suppose. Enjoyable. I like winning. That's part of it for me. In general, chicken riders, I don't know. We all sort of do our own thing in our own way. Like I'm the brain or strategy side of the team a lot of the time. I do a lot of our prep work and pick ban, but then like Ryder or Nolan, who you might know from some of the Seal casts, does a lot of our front-facing work. He's super busy with work this week, so I'm handling a lot of that right now. But he does a lot of that, and then Aoka does her own thing, and Chicken does his own thing, and Lightning does his own thing, and we all sort of work together and come together and create a great blend. That's great.
Yeah, so I'm going to put my one little tiny dig in there is Mr. Dragon Rider, 7 assists away from getting to 100. That would have been, your team would have been the second team to get 100 assists each for each individual player in the Seal community, only to myself, my team. My team, everyone got 100 assists, so... we just play like 40-minute games. Don't worry about it. But your team like leads literally like all the stat categories. Why is that?
If I'll be honest, it's a lot easier to get good stats when you win most of your games. I think our team has a really solid shot calling structure and really good at snowballing off of objectives. League right now is in a place where it's a dragon-based game right now, so if you snowball off of the early objectives really well, it's sort of hard for your team to screw it up and throw. So since we've been able to maintain our dominance in early game, drafting around priority lane phases and stuff like that, we've been able to snowball games a lot, and that snowballs into good stats. And on top of that, I think all the players on my team are fantastic and have done a great job playing off of what advantages we've got, and that leads us to where we are now.
Okay, that's great. So let's talk really quickly about your opponent. We have this team. You 2-0'd them in what was your fourth match of the season, their third match of the season, and it sounded like, from their opinion, they had to bring in like an emergency sub, and they lost, I think, all of their bans, and it just didn't go very well from them. And they feel that they've improved a lot. What have you guys noticed from that first match going into that, that first round quarterfinal match from last week?
Well, based on our first match, as you mentioned, they had to do an emergency sub. They lost all but one of their bans, and from our perspective, that was a great boon to us in pick ban. And since we won't be going into the match with that sort of advantage this time, it'll be really interesting to see how pick ban plays out. As far as improvements go, I've watched some of the recent games, and they definitely look like, as a team, they're gelling more and they're connecting more on a personal level, and they're making a lot more plays. So they're definitely looking to be a more formidable opponent than the prior time we fought them. I'm still feeling really good about the match. I have some good strategies cooked up for us, and I think it'll be really fun to show that off once we get
Okay,
play.
so you say good strategies. Now, I've been kind of getting on every team about this weekend, for this particular match because it's starting to get cold out. It's starting to get, a little chilly. And it's time, and that means you can make some chili. And when you make chili, best thing on chili is cheese. What is the cheesiest comp your team runs?
What's the cheesiest thing? Was it against? I think it was against this team actually last time we played. Um, I'm technically a Yasuo player because I played a lot of Yasuo when a long time ago now. I don't play him anymore. But we did end up calling their Kog'Maw Lulu draft, and we had a Malphite, and we had last pick, and I was just like, all right, we're picking Yasuo Malphite with no AP damage on our team because their only carries a Kog'Maw, and we lost early game. I think we were down 9-1 at like 8 minutes, and we stomped that game. It wasn't even close just because of cheesy Malphite.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if that's what you got to do to win, that's what you got to do to win. So, and what is your opinion, at least kind of just from the outside, what do you think of the other semifinal match between Shitstorm and Dream Daddies?
I think it'll be really close, and it's really interesting to see who will pull off ahead in that matchup. The teams, I feel, really are pretty well balanced in their advantages. We have I believe it's All Pro Jungle versus All Pro Top Lane going on in that series. And it'll be really interesting to see how the power points on their maps interact with each other. Huge carries coming out of Cheese Blaze in the top lane, ZZ Dog, respectable mid laner in their own right, and Berserker and even Zenial in the bot lane. Very, very strong carries on both of these teams. It'll be really interesting to see who pops off on either side.
I'm super pumped for the Freljord divisions. It was such a tie in the standings for all the teams but yourself, basically, and in last place. Even that was a tie going into the last week of the season. So, any other shout outs you want to give before we finish this up?
Just want to say a huge thanks to my teammates and huge thanks to the SEAL community for being there for us. A huge thanks to you for coming out today to do this interview, and look forward to our match coming up this week.
Thank you for joining me, and good luck. Okay, the AMO back here with the final wrap-up for the Freljord Division semifinals. Just like my predictions last week, I technically got this team correct in winning their match, and I got Shitstorm winning their match last week. I did not get the games correct for those matches, but don't worry about that. And technically I hedged saying this team would win at 2-1 and Team 25 would win 2-0 if they won, but no one pay attention to that. Just listen to me what I'm talking about right now. Chicken Riders 2-0. This team, you're a great group of guys, and proud that you guys are in this community and shouting people out and just putting up a good fight. But the Chicken Riders have showed dominance all season long against all the teams when they're at full power, and I think they are going to be at at a pretty high strong point coming out 2-0. Now it's between Shitstorm and Dream Daddies. Dream Daddies 2-0 during the regular season. Shitstorm's coming off a nice 2-0 in the first round. Does that help in the prep planning, or did they show too much? For Dream Daddies to pick, I think the Dream Daddies are going to take this one. I don't think that Cheese Blaze is going to get on his Urgot. I don't think he's going to get his Fiora. And I think because of the way bans are going to have to go, Dream Daddies and their bot lane mages are going to get to a nice point to take home the victory. But I think that in Game 1, Shitstorm may come up with something spicy. And that's why I was asking everyone the cheesy questions, right? Because I wanted to try and get into people's minds a little bit, try and figure out what may be brewing down in there, what may be cooking. So if Shitstorm can take Game 1, they have a chance. But if they don't take Game 1, it's going to be a 2-0 for Dream Daddies. So I'm going to put my money that I don't have. So basically, your units. I guess I'm going to put some units on Dream Daddies in a 2-1 over Shitstorm and Chicken Riders 2-0 over this team. Watch and both Friday night and Saturday night, or Saturday afternoon, evening, 6 p.m. Eastern time, I think is the second match. 9 p.m. Eastern time, the match on Friday night. and it's going to be pumped. It's going to be pumped, and then we're going to get to a great Freljordian finals. So I will catch you all for the finals preview coming out next week. Have a good night.